I was born in Brooklyn, New York. My father came from Maddaloni with his two brothers, Alfred and Salvatore, Alfredo, and they settled in Brooklyn. And we lived across the street from each other. So we used to visit constantly, and the families were constantly connected. So when I was growing up, I spoke the dialect, which was Napolitan, and I learned to speak it very well because that's all they spoke to me. And when I went to school, I had to learn how to speak English. But in any event, I was always fascinated with telling stories and making films and watching films and wanting to make films and watching films. What I was very good at was entertaining people by sitting them down and telling them a story. And how I would do that was I would visualize it in my head and tell those images. And they used to call me to tell stories at the campfire at night. And I used to tell scary stories and everyone would be frightened. I used to also draw a lot of sketches of scenes that I would love to make or envisioned in my head. Because the family was so close, I told my father, who had other aspirations for me. He wanted me to go into the jewelry business that they had created in Canal Street in New York. It was the Mastroianni brothers jewelers. And they were very, very well known and they did very well. And his aspirations were that I would come to work for them. And although I did over the summers when I was free from school, I would still be fascinated with wanting to make films. I would sit there and write scripts or write down ideas. Finally, I convinced my dad to get me a camera. When I was 16 or 17, we traveled to Italy and we went to visit our relatives in Maddaloni. But we spent 2 months in Italy, traveling all over. We went up north, it was beautiful. And I made my Viaggio in Italia. I never went to any kind of, officially to any kind of film school. I learned just by watching films, studying how they were put together. It was something that was so ingrained in me that you could never tell me, you should be a doctor, a lawyer, or something else. I knew this is what I had to do.
It started as a game and turned into a nightmare. She was an art student. She had the power to see things beyond the normal range of human senses. she saw murder.
At lunch, this young man sticks his head in and says hello to me and says, "Can I wait out here because I'm a little early?" And I said, "No, come on in." And we started chatting, and make a long story short, I really was taken with him, and I said, "Let me see your resume." And I looked at it, and it was just some school stuff that he had done. He hadn't been in films yet. So I went in to speak to the producers, and they said, "Well, no, we don't want this guy. Get somebody who has some experience." But I prevailed, and I said, well, I definitely want him in the film. And
I'm sorry.
sure enough, we made the movie, and that was Tom Hanks. That was his first movie.
Well, it seemed the best way to meet you. My name's Elliot.
Hi. How do you do? I'm Nancy. I hate jogging.
Oh, so do I. Too bad they don't have a roller coaster.
Thank God for a small thing.
Don't you like to be scared, Abe?
No.
Most people do, actually. I mean, like to be scared. It's something primal, something basic. Horror movies and the roller coasters and the House of Horror ride.
I want to go on that next.
And you can face death without any real fear of dying. It's safe. You can leave the movie or get off the ride with a vicarious thrill and the feeling that you just conquered death. One hell of a first-class rush.
Don't tell me you're a psych major.
Oh, a good deductive guess. I'm most interested in fear, the emotion of fear.
Right after that, things started happening very quickly for me because I was getting a lot of calls and a lot of offers. I had made 2 films, and another production company came forward and gave me a script to shoot in Los Angeles. It's called The Supernaturals.
No, man. See, now I know a cat. I used to know this cat who used to run around in graveyards and play with the stones and shit. And he's dead, right? This is bad luck, I'm telling you. You motherfucker.
Immediately after that, another company that had just done Nightmare on Elm Street came forward and offered me another film, which I sat down and rewrote with the author of the book, Cameron's Closet.
Now that something wants to enter Cameron's world. And Cameron is the only one who can release it or destroy it.
Cameron, stop it. Come on, snap out of it. Fight it! Fight it! Cameron, you have to do it. You have to send it back.
And watch him film that movie, and it was just an amazing experience for me. And this has happened over and over. I've met so many other people that way too.
Caro Armand, con il racconto della tua vita ci hai trasportato anche nel periodo storico dell'emigrazione italiana in America. Un interessante e variegato viaggio, un suggestivo contrasto tra il fantastico mondo di Hollywood e i ricordi sfumati di una magica città dal sapore di antico e che tu hai conosciuto solo attraverso i racconti dei tuoi genitori. Gli studios e la città di Los Angeles si confondono e si intrecciano con la memoria di una lontana città italiana, la tua Maddaloni, oggi ritrovata.
The thing we love the most, which is film.